We're going to talk about, we were talking about the Batman before. Well, now we're going to talk about what's coming off of the Batman. So they're saying that they are still doing the Penguin series. Colin Farrell's attached, and it's moving forward. And there's actually some progress happening. There's not much, but we have a little bit of news about what's happening with this. So they're saying right now that the plot of the series is going to focus on Oswald Cobblepot, which is played by Colin Farrell, as he rises the ranks of Gotham's underworld. Yeah, so he becomes a power player, they're saying, and it will take place in the aftermath of the Batman. So apparently Gotham is still flooded, and it's going to take place like right afterwards. And Colin Farrell's like really excited about it. But, you know, the whole thing is he's supposed to be a hustler and a strategist. That's the word. And the story will be told over 8 episodes. Strategery. They'll be told over 8 episodes to tell like a longer character arc. That's what they're talking about when the show's coming out. And it's very much going to be an ongoing thing that they're going to kind of showcase the street level criminals. It's not going to be like Batman's flying through the skies. It's more about the grittiness of Gotham. And it's about Oswald's, you know, becoming the Penguin, as opposed to, and if you saw the Batman, he was still kind of just like, you know, figuring things out. He's working in the club. He's working for Falcone. So he's still not quite there. The one casting that they said besides Colin Farrell is they're going to bring in Sophie Falcone. So they're going to bring in the daughter of Carmine Falcone, who was played by, John Turturro. John Turturro, yeah. So they're going to bring her in, and they're going to be going back and forth. So there'll be a little bit of dynamic there. And apparently she's going to be trying to fight with the Penguin. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with this. Colin Farrell actually had a comment he said about this when he was interviewed about the progress of the Penguin. And here's what he kind of had to say about the topic.
The Penguin starts about a week after the film Batman ends. So Gotham is still somewhat underwater. I read the first script for the first episode, and it opens up with my feet splashing through the water in Falcone's office. Even just that alone. I read it. I was like, oh, geez, it's lovely. It's so well written. It'll be, I think, 6 or 8 hours.
Yeah, and Colin Farrell, he was awesome. He was just amazing. Just so good in the original and the Batman movie. But what they're saying right now is this is coming out 2023, 2024-ish. They're like, it's coming out sometime late 2023 or it might be early 2024. And of course, it's going to be one of those things that'll be direct to HBO Max. And it's supposed to lead into the Batman 2, as long as that, you know, they're saying it's still happening. It's all going to be going forward. As long as that goes forward, it's going to lead into that. So it's pretty cool. I liked his performance a lot. I'm excited to see what they can do on a longer form for him, to actually have him play out like what it's like to be the Penguin, getting into that character more. What they did with the special effects makeup for him was fucking phenomenal. Now I know, Jake, we talked before, you didn't see the Batman, but did you see the pictures of Colin Farrell? And you see what kind of actor he is. So what do you think about him getting his own spinoff and having his own series set in the Batman world?
I think it's kind of cool. I mean, I trust your judgment when it comes to shows and what I should watch. So if you say it's good, I'm like, copy that. And so I have to pick. Maybe I'll watch Batman tomorrow or this evening after we're done. I don't know. I have
3 hours, man. 3 hours.
Well, I'm not watching it tonight then. Let's see. But it's good. And you said it starts like weeks after the film ends, technically.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a week after the film.
A week.
Yeah, moments. But he would say, Colin Farrell said a week, but they were like moments. They're saying the city's still gonna be flooded, like he's gonna be treading through water, because the end of the Batman, they flood. I mean, they blow up the dam pretty much, and they flood Gotham. So Gotham's halfway underwater. So they're gonna pick up right there and show the Penguin's story continuing forward, which would be fun, I think. And Colin Farrell's like one of the best parts of that movie. So honestly,
the best part of that movie.
It makes sense. And they were going to do another spinoff about like just the cops, kind of like they did with that show Gotham, but then they canceled that too. So that's not happening. But that was also going to take place with that, but showcasing the actual police in Gotham. Not happening now.
Gotcha.
So, but I think this is better. I think it's going to be great.
So what, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, like, I'm just like, what made his character so good? Was he a protagonist or an antagonist in the film?
He's an antagonist for sure. Yeah.
Antagonist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is he
It's
going to
just
have the
his-
same amount of like? Is there going to be as much of the other side pushing back against him throughout the whole series, so that his character remains as good as it was?
Well, it sounds like it's going to be him kind of taking over the crime scene, you know? So you're going to
Or
still have
fighting
Falcone.
to take over. Fighting
Yeah,
to
yeah.
take over the crime
So,
scene. So it's all
I-
antagonists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel
okay.
like
Okay.
he will be a little bit of heroic in this too, in a way, because you still want him probably. I mean, they're going to have to kind of make somebody the hero, right? So it
He's a
seems like you're going to
likable
be.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and he is likable. He's funny in the movie. He's super funny. And
Okay.
he just has this, like, his way he talks, his mannerisms, the way he carries himself, the makeup. It doesn't even look like him. It's really great how he embodies this character and makes it his own. If you watch it, you'll see what I mean.
Okay.
Sabrina, you hear about this. Are you excited about this? And do you think it's a good idea to make him the lead in a series when he is the villain?
I mean, because it was his performance was so good, I see why they would do that. It's a little bit weird to basically watch a show that's pretty much based on it's just the villains, you know what I mean? But like I kind of liken it to that Harley Quinn series, which is, all villains, and it's very entertaining and really
Oh, yeah.
funny. So I feel like it could be awesome, and I don't need Batman to be a part of it, like, for them to figure out who's going to be, the biggest villain. And of course you will root for Colin Farrell. The show's called The Penguin. You're not going to root for the girl. So, I mean, like you were saying, Jake, like that does kind of make him the protagonist of the series, but like in the grand scheme of Gotham, he's still a villain, However, like
yeah.
I'm just questioning, like, this is keeping the Matt Reeves Batman universe going.
It is.
So it's weird that they're doing that, if there may not be a second film, because this is supposed to bridge the gap between 1 and 2. So, I mean, if James Gunn is greenlighting another movie, with the same cast and situation, basically, like, I don't know. I get, it's just, that's the only question mark for me. Because if they're going to not go forward with that, as a lot of people were thinking, as we were thinking, like, because of the change of the guard at Warner Brothers, I just don't know what that means. But I would watch it because he was, to me, the most entertaining part of the film. I liked him the best. Every time he was on screen, I was thrilled. When he was not on screen, I was bored. So
Yeah,
I'm
and
definitely
James
gonna
Gunn
watch.
hasn't made any kind of statement about this yet at all.
Right.
He hasn't said anything. I mean, there's been reports from Matt Reeves saying, "Oh yeah, everything's great," but until you hear it from James Gunn, I don't believe all the people in the trades are out there saying, "Oh yeah, it's happening." I'm like, well, they said it was happening before James Gunn took over, and they're like, well, they're going to coordinate soon. We talked about that before. Yes, they haven't coordinated yet. They haven't had a meeting. Every meeting James Gunn's had has been firing people pretty much. So it makes me wonder what'll happen with this. And the fact that it's moving forward, it's supposed to start shooting. It's going to be shooting in England, actually. They're going to start shooting over the summer. And so it's like, okay, well, everything's moving forward. So as long as everything's good with him, I don't know. You could still have this and not have the Batman too. But the question still will be like, who's Batman? And if James Gunn is trying to make one kind of world, like, you need to have a Batman. You can't have two Batman. I think people have been confused about that. We talked about that before. Maybe they'll still do that. I don't know. It's only a matter of time that we'll find out. And the fact that, I mean, you have Pattinson. Do you think he's going to go do a TV show on HBO Max? I don't think so. He doesn't seem like he would do that. I think they can barely get him to sign on for a Batman too. It seems to me, it seems like I think he was good. He was brooding. He was, he was what he was. I think they could get somebody better. I think they could, and get somebody committed to it, and get somebody that wants to be Batman across the board. There's so many hungry actors out there that will take that job and be like, yeah, I'll do the TV show, I'll do the movie, I'll do any kind of spin-off, I'll do that. That's what they should get. And if I were James Gunn, that's what I would do. I would be like, this is great and all, it's a great universe, but we need somebody that's committed to the character and not just committed to the paycheck. And that's just what they need. Because any day that person's going to quit, or he's going to, screw something up on set like he did before. The Batman was delayed multiple times, and they said it's because he had COVID and they shut it down. But there's a lot of rumors out there that are beyond that about his attitude on set, and ain't nobody got time for that. So that's all I can say. So it's coming. We'll see. We just wanted to update you about it. I'm excited about it if it all connects and it works well. But again, we don't know until James Gunn, the man, the myth, the legend, the DC head, says something. So we'll see. I don't know, guys. I really don't know. But it looks interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think, as as I'm thinking about it now, like Batman and Gotham and the people who are trying to save it, right, are always
Yeah.
going to be there. Like we always know that they exist out there somewhere. So if you
Yeah.
went full into the criminal element of Gotham and you see all these things playing out and going on, you know that Batman's still out there, and at some point he's going to get in their way. So depending on how far you stretch that out, it could work. You know, you can't go too long without bringing it in and knocking it down a little bit. But
Well, I think the idea is that Batman would come back in the movie. Like this is the in between the two movies. So then you get fleshed out of what's going on with the villains,
Yeah.
and then Batman 2 would start, and then Batman would come into the
Yeah.
fold. Like it would
because it
basically-
always starts with a crisis that needs to be fixed, and this is how that got to that.
That could be the
point.
whole. Yeah, it could be the whole buildup, which would be really
I
cool.
mean, that's the idea.
Mm.
Now, if
Yeah.
you had Battinson that was on board and he came in for the last episode or something like that, right? And then that set it up to connect to the movie, that would make sense. And you could shoot that if you started shooting the Batman the same time that was shooting, you could shoot a scene, you know, during that and just cut it into
Yeah.
the TV show and not have to worry about it. And of course, he's gonna have to get paid for that, but that might be a way of getting, you know, I'm gonna keep calling him Pattinson back, you know, to do it. And then that might get him to do it without having to be like, it's a whole different deal. Now you're just getting a paycheck, 2 paychecks for 1 day's work, which is great for anybody. I mean, I would think that he wouldn't turn that down.
It's just confusing. Like if they're not, it's the only thing is like if they're not going to continue with this universe, like it's weird. The fact that they haven't started filming yet and they're still going to film makes me think that there might be a chance for a Batman 2, or otherwise why would they even be going into this? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm just, that's my only question. I think the rest of it is, I think tying it together, if that's what they're going to do, is all well and good. It's just a question of whether Batman 2 is actually going to happen or not in Matt Reeves' universe, you know?
I just think if he's gonna shut this ship down, he's got to do it soon, you know, because it's gonna start moving too far, and that's why that meeting's supposed to be coming soon, and we'll keep you updated when there is more news about the Batman 2 and Penguin, because we're gonna find out. I still think hire somebody else and have them go across the board for me.